Hello, once again, audience. I hope you had a beautiful day. I'm very happy that we are back here as one of the how should I put it, more careful viewers might have noticed. Here we are, better prepared. No, just joking. I turned in a few sticky, slimy orbs to get a few, maybe 2 or 3 heart containers, and I went to a fairy spring, a fairy well, and got myself a couple of fairies. So in case that he tries to whoop our butts, we are prepared. So Thunderblight Ganon, here we are again. Get over here. Are we? Does it work? I didn't pay attention. Did it work actually? Ah, crap. That's what annoys me the most. That... Ah, come on, give me a break. Give me a break, dude. Is that I lose the focus when he... You know what I mean? When he decides to move very fast. Okay, so second phase. We've been there before. Where is he? Up there? Okay. Where are the pillars of thunder? Yeah, got him. Got him really good. Ah, shoo. Wait. I have a couple of meals. I came prepared. You son of a bee. I hate him. I hate him so bad. We should. And we didn't even need the fairies. I feel so stupid. Oh, give me a break. Rot. Just rot and go away for all eternity. Ah, you beautiful heart-shaped miracle. You beautiful heart-shaped miracle. Very welcome. Good. Yeah, let's leave Varna-Boris for once. Just beautiful. Hello, gorgeous. Never. I love this music. It feels like we could take over the whole world and just wipe Ganon of the face of this beautiful, beautiful world. Look at those apps. Just beautiful Urbosa's fury, a destructive power born from the unbridled anger of the champion Urbosa, summons powerful lightning to the surrounding area, triggers with a charge attack by holding Y. Awesome. Now we have to get back to the... Oh, I forgot. I am a eggplant owner. I have to transform myself like in those old Sailor Moon animes to a cherry owner, taco owner, muffin owner. I don't know. How do you guys in Germany and in Austria when we are talking or having the talk with our youngsters? We are always talking about the birds and bees and flowers and bees and mice. Sometimes mice, like small mice, and flowers how do you guys are having the talk in other regions or in other countries? What kind of synonyms do you guys use? Oh, you're back. Yes, I am. I'm glad you're okay. Truly, I am. Namboris is no longer a threat to the town. I'm still worried about the larger threat to Hyrule, but at least my people won't be troubled by Namboris anymore. Ooh. I trust you'll accept them. With great pleasure. These pieces of equipment are priceless treasures of the Gerudo people. They were once worn by Lady Urbosa. Since you and Lady Urbosa were friends, it's only right that you have them. I agree. I completely agree. And that's it. It's like, thank you, here are your gifts, and just go away. No oh, Skirmitor of the Seven. Nice. It's like, just take those items and leave. Simply, just leave. Go away. I don't want your eggplant in my beautiful town. Anyways, so that was number 3. And the 4th one should be somewhere here. I know we have seen it, that it's a flying divine beast. So I'm kind of curious. We have no time to lose. I'm gonna head straight there. And I know there is one little tiny thing left. I don't have the proper weapon to deal with Calamity Ganon. So we have to deal with that problem as well. But first, let's take on the last divine beast. Yeah, there she is. Or it, or he, or they, or them, or whatever. I don't want to insult anybody. Okay, there is a watchtower. Do I have that one? Do I? Oh no, I don't have that one. I have to get used to the switch controls again. There's a shrine, very nice. Where is it though? Somewhere up there. Good. Good. I always need a shrine. We had today like a really hot day. And you guys know I do love my job that I currently have. I truly do, because it's a very, very exciting job. It's actually a quite meaningful job as well. So most of the time I have the feeling that I'm doing something meaningful, I guess. Or at least sometimes. But as some of you might know, I have to wear a uniform in that job. And that uniform is terrible. It's nothing breathable. It's some sort of synthetic fiber. And it's terrible if you have to work like at 30-40 degrees Celsius. Terrible. I have no idea how the what 30 degrees Celsius are in Fahrenheit. I have no idea. I do know that I did learn that like way back when I was able to see my feet without pulling my stomach in. But forgive me my ignorance. Okay, the shrine has to be over there somewhere. Okay. Oh, a few horses. Where is the shrine actually? Oh, I have a slight feeling that it might be in the overseer. You know what I mean? Overseer. Yes. Overseer in the big pit. Maybe. Let's see. Is there some kind of bridge? Okay, there is one over there and over there. Oh shoot. That's like a long way. Oh, you beautiful horses. As far as I remember, the more colors a horse has, like those horses over there, they're like single colored or dual colored. The more colors a horse has, the easier it is to capture. So I'm pretty sure that my stamina isn't enough for those horses. but they have like really good stats. Okay, okay, okay. Also over there, a few very, very nice horses. Ah, you beautiful divine beast, some sort of bird. Okay, I try to remember that the problem of the weapon. Obviously, we have to get the master sword. I hope it's called like that in English. In German, it's actually the master sword. And I'm not quite sure about the details of retrieving the sword. If I need like a ton of hearts or a ton of stamina. That's the one thing I'm uncertain about. Okay, let's see. There is a bridge over there, but no bridge over here. So we actually did come quite a long way, but it looks like we are gonna be hiking for quite some time until we get over there. Of course, I'm thinking about like pausing the record and doing some kind of magic and magically appear at the village, but on the other hand, how are we supposed to get to know each other better? Is there anything you guys would like to ask me? Like, how old are you? Where do you come from? Where do you live? Your secrets? Your deepest, darkest secrets? No, just joking. It's quite funny too. I actually did talk with a few people back in the day when I decided that I wanted to do Let's Plays again. And the feedback was like actually pretty positive. But first of all, I started like at the whole beginning of Arusia Let's Plays. It was a friend of mine back in Austria that told me, dude, do you know that it was like maybe 7 or 8 years ago? Do you know Gronk? That's like the most famous German YouTuber, streamer, father of all Let's Plays. Do you know Gronk? And I was like, hey, who? What? Yeah, the famous Let's Player. What? And I was actually into gaming. Whole my life I've been a gamer as far as I remember. I know that the first game that I have ever played was back when I was maybe EGOTS. Back when I was maybe 5-6 years old. The Neighbors back in Croatia, Yugoslavia. They were quite wealthy and they had a NES, or was it a Super Nintendo? I don't know. And they had Super Mario Land 2 or Brothers or something like that. I don't remember all the details. But I was immediately hooked. And then, of course, the first game I actually owned myself was Dragon Ball Final Bout. But the funny thing is that I didn't own a PlayStation system back then. So I had a game, but no PlayStation to play it with. So yeah. Oh, that's gonna come out pretty shitty. Or does it? What do I have to do? Ah, okay. What did I do? What did I do? I have no idea. Anyways, yeah. The first game I owned myself was Dragon Ball Final Bout, and I didn't have a PlayStation back then, which was a bit strange. And I know that my best friend back in primary school, he wanted to gift me a PlayStation, an old PlayStation with a few games, like which games were it? I think it was Lego Island 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and all that sort. And she forced me to return it. She forced me to return it because she wasn't able to accept gifts. I don't know why. I don't try to think. I try not to think about it. Yeah. And a few years later, I got one myself, but the PlayStation 1. So not the fat one, but the smaller one. And finally I was able to play Dragon Ball, and I think my second game was, I think, Digimon World 1, and I took it everywhere with me, everywhere. Every vacation when I had to stay with my grandparents in Croatia, I was actually easily bored, because there was pretty much nothing to do there except to work and pray and go to church. And from time to time, I was able to play with the neighbors' kids, but only from time to time. And the funny thing is that I was able, but only for a small period of time, I was able to play with my now wife. Pretty funny thing, but later she told me that I was actually pretty annoying back then, which is quite funny because now I'm the cool one, obviously. Yeah, I took it everywhere with me, and I remember we were going to the bakery after church on a Sunday, and I saw a electronical hardware store where they would sell PlayStations and games and stuff, and they were like really cheap. Back in the day, I think one game was maybe $40, if I remember correctly. And in Croatia, in that store, the games were like, I don't know, maybe $5. So like really cheap. So I talked my granddad into buying me one of those games, and it was, of course, Digimon World 2003. So for you Americans and Brits, no, Brits have the PAL version, like the PAL version of this game. So in Europe, Digimon World 3 is called Digimon World 2003. I don't know why, for what reasons whatsoever. And then I got home like all excited and I was ready to play the game. But then somehow my PlayStation didn't recognize the game. So I went back to the store with my granddad, of course, and I was like, dude, did you sell me a broken game, or what's the hang of it? And he was like, no, it's not broken. It's Yeah, that was like 20 years ago. So um, have mercy with me. And he was like, no, 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 no. It's not a broken game. It's a copied game. And I was like, okay. And so what? What exactly does that mean? Yeah, you need a microchip to be able to play it. And I was like, okay, how much is the chip? And it was like maybe I don't know. I have to do the math, but maybe 20, $30. And again, I talked my granddad into um buying me the chip so I will be able to play copied games. Yeah. 500 rupees. Dude, that's a lot of money. And it looks kind of wrong. It feels wrong. It feels so full of strange tension. Hello, gorgeous. Yeah, yeah. That's the story. And I think the first game I have spent like an awful amount of time in a game was Digimon World 2003. And the funny thing is that the game was actually in English. Yeah. So and I didn't speak any English back then. So it was all kind of guessed what it stood there or what the game wanted me to do. And I got like a huge amount of game time, like almost immediately. I think I was maybe at, I mean, you have to do the math, but I was maybe 9, 10 back then, maybe a little bit older. And yeah, like really crazy. I had 300 hours on there. Crazy. Just crazy. Okay, so I have to change my clothes, of course. Ooh, yeah, awesome. Maximum defense. I do want to go to that watchtower. What is that shadow? Is it the bird? Is it though? No. Ah, it's the watchtower. I get it. I get it. Okay, how do I get up there? It looks all a bit twisted, to be fair. Yeah, and I spent like every single minute with my PlayStation 1, and I loved it. And a few years later, it was the second console I ever owned was, I think, the Nintendo GameCube. And there's also a funny story. The first game I ever owned for the GameCube was a special edition of Wind Waker, so Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, that came with a rebrand version of Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, and so. But now that I think of it, the one game that really got me into gaming was Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. That was the one game which turned me from a casual gamer, I'd say, to a real passionate one. Yeah, yeah. Because I know I never owned a Nintendo 64 because not enough money, not my time, and everything in between. But my best friend in junior high maybe owned one. He had like an older brother who was like really into gaming and all that stuff. I remember that I admired that guy because he was one of those guys who didn't leave their house, their apartment, or whatever you'd like it to call it, and he was never in the sunlight. So he was like really pale, and he was like a little bit into hacking, a little bit into technology and everything in between. That doesn't look like I could make it, but maybe we could make it if I get on that tower. Was there an eye? No, there was not. If I can make it on this pillar. Nope, doesn't look like it. Crap. But we are actually pretty close. Should we do it? Yeah, we should. We probably should. Let's see if we can make that very ridiculous far jump. Yeah, and he had a 64, and he let me play from time to time. But it was like for every now and then he gave me the Nintendo to play with. I had to play GoldenEye and Dino Crisis and Duke Nukem with him, and he whooped my butt so bad in those games. And maybe that's the reason why I was never into competitive games or shooters. Yeah, and I know that I have watched my friends play PlayStation 1 or Nintendo 64 because I didn't own one back then. And it was kind of funny when the concept of Let's Plays got introduced to me, that I was actually a old school or an original Let's Play watcher. Yeah, back when it wasn't called Let's Playing. Funny thing. Yeah, and he did let me play from time to time, and like everything was cool. And I think it was the third yeah, of course it was the third dungeon. The third dungeon was the stomach of this huge whale that had swallowed Princess Sora, I think her name was. And I wasn't able to do it by myself, and every time things would get tricky, I was like, could you help me? Could you do it for me? Blah, blah, blah. And at Yojimbo's stomach, he was like, no, I won't help you anymore. Do it by yourself. You are on your own. And that was maybe the birthplace of me as a passionate gamer. Yeah. Good times back then, when life was simple. Beautiful times. We were hanging out so many hours. We were listening to music, watching all kinds of memes. Yeah, even back then, that was like, I don't know. I am now 30. Oh, crap. Dude, for a second, I was thinking, what kind of game am I playing? Is that a horror game? Okay. But you beautiful, beautiful people, we're gonna stop the recording here. And I should. I'm thinking about. Is there? Do I want to finish up the story or save it for the next time? No, stop the recording so we have something to look forward to. You beautiful people, it was my pleasure as always. See you next time. Spread love, stay awesome. Bye bye.